let's talk, and I'm gonna try my best not to get emotional. You guys are gonna think that I'm ridiculous, but I do know that there's a fandom out there. There is a community of people. There are a community of people that feel exactly the way that I do and that look at TV and film as this piece of art that's tied to your life forever. So, without further ado, this episode is dedicated to Meredith Grey, the character of Grey's Anatomy. As many of you know, and many of you don't care, Grey's Anatomy has been around for a plethora of years. It is on its 19th season. It is one of the strongest standing shows. I'm going to actually add some stats for y'all. Stat. It'll be right here, and I'll keep it up for 15 to 20 seconds so that you can see it. I haven't looked up the stats yet, but this is why the show is still standing. Aside from the fact that the show is just phenomenally written, there are so many episodes that are true to life. I have such an opinion on television and film and the art of TV and characterization, and I look into it on such a deeper level than a lot of people do, and the people that look at it the way that I do understand what I'm saying right now. I know you know what I'm talking about. I love to watch these shows. A lot of people constantly complain about, I'm not watching the show anymore because this person left. This person got killed off. These two people aren't together anymore. They failed these people. I shipped them so hard. And you know what is so funny? I totally understand. That was me. I used to think that way as well. But as I got older, as I started to really pay attention and see the way that these films and TV shows affect me, I started to realize that I think it's kind of great that it mimics life. I feel like this episode, even if you don't watch television, even if you don't watch Grey's Anatomy, hear me out on this episode as I try to show you how they raised me. The show raised me. I felt such a disconnection in my life when I started watching Grey's Anatomy. I was literally in my early 20s. I remember watching it when it was live, but I never took it seriously. And then maybe in the year 2006, 2006 or 2007, 2006, 2007, I believe it was, is when I really started binging it. And I kept going through the episodes, and I would continuously watch it over and over. And when I say over and over, not just like one episode, I would watch the series once I would reach to where the live show is, and I would keep watching. I kept learning different lessons. There were so many things I was afraid to ask my mom, or I didn't have the certain friendships that I saw emulated on the show. So I felt like I took a lot of little gems from what I saw on the show. And I saw a lot of myself in Meredith Grey. I never saw a character so complex like that, where she's so cookie cutter and so sweet and so docile, but at the same time, she has such a demented mind. She feels that she's jaded. She doesn't mean to play the hero, but she's willing to risk her life to save anyone. And I saw myself in her in so many ways, and it really for so many years had me believing, like, am I meant to be a doctor? Can I be a doctor? I knew for a fact that I didn't want to be a doctor, but there was a time in my life where I was like, if I wasn't so lazy when it came to school, and if I didn't hate school so much, I probably would have become a neurosurgeon. Like, just so seriously. Like, I'm very meticulous, and I'm telling you, Grey's Anatomy taught me so much about me. So much about how I want to be loved, my love languages, what I'm looking for, the type of friendships that I want, the type of love that I was seeking. Richard Webber was my father figure. He was my father figure throughout all of these years. I know to a lot of people these shows mean nothing, but to a lot of people around the world, this is therapy, you know? And I need a second. I needed a second. I needed a second because this show feels like it's coming to an end. Ooh. I'm gonna be so honest right now, like off the record. As somebody who can't really afford therapy, and I've gone through a lot of traumatic experiences in my life, for me, Grey's Anatomy has been a show that I've latched I've latched onto for years, for over a decade. It's Thursday, and it's gonna be Meredith Grey's last episode. When I felt my most alone time in my 20s, Meredith Grey is who I hooked onto for an identity. She helped me. She genuinely helped me. The character helped me. The way that Shonda wrote the character made me feel less ashamed to be and to make mistakes and to fight for things that I believe in. My goodness, like, to keep going and to stay motivated, and I'm gonna miss that character so much. And if I'm being even extra honest, this is gonna be such an emotional episode. It's so ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous. Like, it's art. Like, I know y'all get it, right? You have to get it. I'm not crazy here. If I can be seriously transparent, I studied acting. A lot of you know this. This has been my passion my whole life. And knowing that Grey's Anatomy is ending, and I remember when it came out, I remember when I fell in love with it, every single year, every single episode saying that I can't wait to be on the next season, or I'm going to be on the next episode. And what this is saying to me, knowing that the show is coming to an end, and it's kind of like on its last days, it makes me feel like a failure. And it makes me feel like I didn't make it. Because so many years passed by and I didn't get to live out my dream of being on that show and working with Meredith, working with Ellen Pompeo. I know I'll get another opportunity. I know that I'm building my table right now. I'm building everything for myself right now. So hopefully I'll get that opportunity in a parallel way. But I really wanted to be on Grey's Anatomy, and I didn't get that opportunity, and I feel like I failed myself, and I feel like I lost my opportunity. So that's a big part of the hurt as well. It's showing me a mirror of where I am in my life and how I didn't really fight as hard to get there. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the top 5, 6 scenes that I absolutely loved of Meredith Grey. And I just want to say that Ellen Pompeo, she played the shit out of this role. I understand why she wants it to come to an end. She gave it basically 20 years of her life. We saw her grow up. We saw her flourish into this fucking phenomenal woman. As a character and as a person, because her personality in real life, from what I get to see on social media and from what she chooses to reveal to us, she seems to be such an immaculate human being, and I would love nothing more than to be connected to her in some way and have a conversation with her and just pick her brain and just work with her in some fashion. I really want to do that. And I really just want to thank her for being so vulnerable on a screen. I'm such a bitch. And I'm in a glass case of emotions right now. This is fucking crazy. This is crazy. I didn't think that I would be able to get through this. And I really thought that it would be much shorter than this. I hope I can edit this down. I mean, come on, we have 19 seasons of Greys that we're talking about here. So it has been impeccable and impossible to just choose 5 or 6 moments that I really love. Here are the top 6 scenes that I loved of Meredith Grey. Oh my gosh, it's so difficult to narrow this down. So we have the pick me, choose me, love me. It made me realize it was the first time that I can be vulnerable with somebody and to not sit on my emotions, right? So that's this episode right here. That's this scene. The next is going to be, and this is in no order. This is in no order because I could never put her own performances over one another. Another is going to be the court scene. Court scene where Meredith has to fight for her medical license and she stands up for herself and speaks out against the doctor that had actually killed Derek, let's just say. That's this scene right here. That scene really taught me to use my voice. It taught me that yes, there are rules to life. Yes, there are ways you have to go about things, but sometimes you do have to choose to stand up for yourself and use your voice. This scene will never leave me. The next scene is going to be when Meredith wins the Harper Avery Award. Oh my goodness. That scene hit me so hard because, you know, you watch the show for so many seasons and you stay committed to a character and you see what they go through and all of her experiences and how it led to that moment. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. It taught me a lot. I'm gonna feel that. The way that I felt for Meredith in that moment when she won the Harper Avery Award is the way that I'm gonna feel every single time that I cross out one of the goals that I have completed. That's just how I look at it. The final scene that I'm gonna talk about is more of a Christina scene because it's Christina's exit. But it's the scene that has never, ever left my soul. It has never left my soul. And it's the final moment where they dance it out, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna leave you with this because this taught me to always pick myself, to always choose myself, and to always love myself. And Christina sort of was a mirror of my subconscious. She was always like the hard one. I feel like a lot of her values, when I rewatched the show, I am a lot of Meredith, but I feel like I was also a lot of Christina. A lot of the great parts of me were also Christina. And this moment was me battling myself, is the way that I saw it. And it's so beautiful. So I'm going to leave you with that. And we're going to dance it out. Go check out the final Meredith moment tomorrow on Grey's Anatomy. I am really happy I did this episode because it really just taught me how much I value art, how much I do fucking love TV and film, how much I see myself through this art, how it's a mirror for me. And I hope that if you did stick through this video, and while you may think Grey's Anatomy is ridiculous, think of a show that you really align with and what you've taken from it. There has to be a piece of art out there that inspires you in such a level that makes you feel the way that I felt throughout this entire episode right now. I thank you for watching, and Ellen Pompeo, Shonda Rhimes, anyone in Grey's land, if you in Shonda land, if you ever come across this YouTube video, thank you. And I will work with you.